The way text looks on a website can make the difference between someone staying on your page or leaving immediately. Today, I'm going to show you guys how to control every single thing about your text. The font, the size, the weight, the spacing, everything that has to do with your text. In our last video, we covered the CSS model, the CSS box model. We learned the margin, the content, the padding, the border, and the box sizing. But today, we are moving into CSS typography. Let's check our Google and let's see what Google has to offer us. So now I'm just going to move up, and now Google says typography in front-end development is the art and technique of arranging text on a website using CSS and HTML. It says it shapes how users read and interact with the content by controlling font choices. Can you see? Sizes, weight, line spacing, and visual hierarchy. Now, good web typography ensures clarity. Yes, it does. Accessibility, it does. And strong brand identity across all devices, across mobile, tablets, desktop, and all. Now let's go back to our Visual Studio Code and let's do something. Now I'm going to change. I've already created my typography.html. I know we all know how to create all of this, so I don't want to keep starting from the beginning, and I just want to save my video. So we've already created typography and typography.css. So I'm going to make this. I'm going to say typography, and here I'm going to link it. Let's going to look at it. Yeah. So now everything I do here in my typography is going to reflect out here. Now what we have to do first is our universal selector, where I have to reset my browser. So I'm just going to reset my browser so that we have our own browser, our own sizes to ourselves. So I'm going to say margin 0, padding 0. Remember, you have to always do this at every point in time. Every CSS you are creating, you have to do this first. This is the first thing you should always do. Now I've already resetted my browser, and as you can see that my typography has already conformed to what I'm asking it to. So the margin here is now 0, the padding is 0, and everything is now is now aligned. Now let's start with the real deal. Now the first thing we are going to talk about is the font family. In CSS there are two ways to use fonts. The first is the inbuilt, they just work automatically. You don't have to, you can just click on it, you don't have to stress it. So let's try to do something. I'm just going to okay, we already have an H1, which is typography, right? Now I'm just going to call my H1 using the element selector, and now I'm going to say font family, and I can choose any of the font family I need here. I can decide to I can change it as long as they are all here. So let me just choose this and let's see what it's going to. Can you see that it had already changed to what we chose here, right? So I'm just going to choose a lot. Let's keep trying. So I'm going to, there are a lot you can choose, there are a lot. So I'm just going to, and let's see Arial, and can you see that it is already changing to what I requested for? I can come here again and choose this. Okay, what is happening here? Okay, sorry. Now we have this. Can you see that it is as I'm changing it, it is as well changing here as well. The typography keep changing immediately I change my font family. There are a lot you can choose. They just work automatically. They work automatically without internet, nothing. They work automatically. You can use it anytime. You can use it. It's just there. Do you understand? So let's talk about the difference between serif fonts and sans serif fonts. Serif fonts have small decorative strokes at the end of like any letter you type in one, like for instance, now I'm just going to take this back, and this is what is, something like this is what we call the serif, right? And there are something like Georgia, Times New Roman and all. Let me choose another one so that you guys would see what I'm talking about. I'm just going to choose this, and it's still the same, right? Because this looks like this is the default fonts family. So can you see that this is what we call the serif, because it has this decorative. Can you see this? Let me zoom it in. Can you see this small decorative line, this decorative strokes? Whenever you see them at the end of each letter, it means that they are serif fonts. They are the decorative fonts. And now we have the sans serif, right? And the sans serif are fonts that they are clean and modern fonts with no decorative stroke at all. They are like text like Arial, Verdana, they are just sans serif. So let me give you an example of that. So this is something like this, and it's going to change. Can you see now that all of this does not have a decorative stroke like the previous one we did, right? So everything is just ordinary, it's just straight, it's just it does not have any stroke after or at the end of every text. So that is the difference between serif and sans serif. That is how you can choose your fonts, your inbuilt fonts from CSS. Now another way to choose your font is the Google font, right? That is the second way to select any kind of font you want. It is a free online library of hundreds of beautiful fonts, anyone you want to choose. The only difference is your users need an internet connection to load them. That is the only difference. But if you use this inbuilt, it does not need any internet. It is just straight. You just have to use it and that's it. But the Google font, you need internet to use it and for it to appear or be visible on your screen. So now let's go to our Google fonts and look for different types of fonts. So I'm just going to come here and say Google fonts. I'm going to enlarge it. So let's see what it's going to bring. Now we have a lot here. We have a lot of fonts here. So but we are just going to choose one, and I'm going to look for Poppins. And now we have Poppins. So I'm going to click on this. Can you see get fonts? But before that, let's scroll down, and can you see a lot of it here? So I would come here and I'm going to click on get fonts, and I'm going to click on get embed code, and here we have it. Can you see now? So I can decide I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to copy all of this and then come back to my code. Now coming back to my code, the first thing I'm going to do is I'll come to my head section in my HTML file, and let me just bring it down here and then paste it. Right now I've pasted it, but there's still one more thing to do, which is coming back here. Okay, something is wrong. So I'm just going to I don't know. Let me just go back. So I'd already gotten the font, right? So I'm just going to come here and look for my font family here. So I already have a font family here. So I'm just going to copy this and then go back to my code, my CSS. Let me take this back. And I'm going to paste it here. And can you see now that it had adjusted to the Poppins font style? So that is how to, that is how to choose your font. It has already added the Poppins, right? So that is how to choose a font on your Google Fonts. Now let's now talk about the font size. So I want you to know that font sizes they control how big or small your text is going to look like. So the most common units in CSS are pixel, rem. So let's try that. Now I already have my H1. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to give my font size in pixel. So I'm just going to come here and say font size, and I can decide to give it any size I want, like 48 pixel. And can you see I can decide to reduce it and make it to 18. I can decide to make it 36 depending on what you are working on. So, and if it is also paragraphy as well working on, you can use that as well. You can make use of it. You can work on paragraph, H1, or any other text, any other, we've done that in our previous video. So now talking about the rem. Now I want you to know that the default size of every font or every text is 16 pixel. So when you say 1 rem, if I should give this 1 rem, it means 16 pixel. So I'm just going to change this to rem instead of creating another one, or probably I might just comment on this, and yeah, I'm just going to create another and say font size, and I'm going to say 1 rem. And sorry, I'm going to say 1 rem, and this means that it is 16 pixel. Don't mind, I've increased I zoomed to my screen, so don't mind it. So now you can see that this is 16 pixel. If I should comment on this and come back here and change this to 16, you are going to see that they are going to become the same size. They are going to become the same size, and can you see now that they are now the same size? So now let's keep switching for you to know that they are the same. So you switch here, can you see that it has gone back to the 16 pixel, which is the same thing as 1 rem. Now I'm going to comment on this, and I'm going to come back here, and now can you see that it's the same thing as the 1 rem. So that is how to choose between rem and 16 pixel. So rem is very flexible. It's very flexible, but most people do not know how to work with rem, for beginners most especially. So let's just keep working on. So now let's just keep working on the 16 pixel and the pixels so that we won't get confused. And right now, if I should come here and bring and say 2 rem, it means that we are calling 16 times 2, right, which is 32 pixel. So that is how pixel and rem works. Now let's move to the I'm just going to make this 32 or maybe 48. Yeah, so this is what I want for now. Now let's move forward to the font weight. Font weight controls how bold or light your text is going to look. So I'm just going to say font weight. I already have it here. So font weight, and I can decide to choose any one. So we have a lot. So we have 100, which is the lighter or the lightest font weight. So it depends on how you want it. I can decide to go all the way to 900, and I can decide to just choose bold, whatever, depending on what you want, bolder or lighter, right? So I'm just going to, let's try 700 and let's see how it's going to look. So it's still looking, so I'm just going to come here and say 900, and can you see that it is bolder. So I'm just going to, or I can either say normal. Can you see now that it has adjusted? And I can decide to say bold, and it is conforming to what I requested for. So I can, you can just keep exploring your font weight depending on what exactly you want. So I can come here and say bolder, and it's going to be bolder.